I love fire pits, and who doesn't? I have been dying to make this video since the day I started this channel. There's just something about a fire pit that just brings people together. Some of the best conversations have been had around a fire pit, and some of the worst conversations can get unnecessarily deep. I digress. But this project is way too cool, way too fun, and way too easy to not make. So let's make something cool. Isn't that great? I love Bob Ross. Wait for it, wait for it. We don't make mistakes, only happy little accidents. By the way, guys, I'm sorry that it took me so long to get this video out. It's been a rough couple of weeks. Been really sick. Had to go out to LA for a week. In the middle of my LA trip, I found out that my grandmother had passed away. Got back home. Got sick all over again, but I'm back home now. I'm almost all better. So excuse my voice, excuse the sniffling and coughing. We're gonna get her done. All right, we're gonna start by making our mold for the concrete top. And you've seen me do this before. It's just a simple melamine box. We're gonna start by cutting the base at 60 inches by 28 inches. Then you're gonna rip 4 melamine strips at 2 1/4 inches. Once we secure these strips to the side of the base, that's going to give us 1.5 inches depth for our concrete top. After that, then we're going to want to make the insert for our fire pan. I cut 2 pieces oversized, then I sandwiched them together with 1.25 inch screws. After that, then I cut it to final size at 38 1/8 inches by 7 1/8 inches. Once I get the insert centered, then I secured it down with 3 2-inch screws. After I secure the insert down, I'm going to wrap the sides in packing tape. This really isn't necessary, but this is going to make it a lot easier for me to take the concrete out of the mold. After that, it's as simple as just simply sealing the corners with 100% silicone. And a great tip for that is lay out a nice consistent bead, then spray it down with a foam glass cleaner. That's going to prevent the silicone from sticking to what you don't want it to stick to. And then simply run a caulk tool down the side. And a couple hours later, we're ready to pour. So how do you take something that has a fire feature in it and take it just one step further? You add a kick-ass design to it. Yeah! You add a whimsical design to it. Yeah! I'll show you. You'll dig it, I promise. Come on. All right, so we're going to emboss a pattern onto the concrete by adding some material to the form. Typically, you'd want to make this out of wood or a very thin melamine, but when you have a design as ornate as this, it's going to lead to a lot of chipping of the wood. It's going to be impossible. So this is going to be a quick and easy way to do a pattern like this with this foam material that I got from a craft store called Michael's. What's cool about this stuff is it has a peel and stick back, so we don't have to spray adhesive one side. So we're gonna print out a pattern to our liking, preferably a whimsical one. You go kick ass, do whatever you want. Take a spray adhesive that is a low tack, because I don't want this to be a permanent bond. Lightly spray it to make things easier for yourself. And just simply glue your pattern on there. Then you're just gonna take an X-Acto knife and cut out the pattern. Then you're gonna simply peel the back off, place the pattern in the desired location, and make sure you got full contact. As long as you didn't put too much spray adhesive on there, it shouldn't be too hard to peel the paper top off after you're done. The only thing that kind of sucks about this is that this isn't a repeatable pattern. It's kind of a one and done. After you've poured your mold and taken the concrete out, unfortunately, the pattern's not gonna stick very well afterwards, and you're gonna pretty much have to do it all over again. This is pretty much reserved for those quick custom jobs. So not a cure-all, be-all, but another good outside-of-the-box tool to put under your belt. All right, now we want to spray her down with our release agent, WD-40. We want to wipe off the excess, but not too much, just no puddling. Now we're ready to mix and pour. So we're going to be using the Rapid Set Mortar Mix, along with the Plasticizer Flow Control. We're going to start off by adding 5 quarts of water. This time we're going to add some color. This one is Quikrete Charcoal, 1 bottle to 1 bag of product. But we want to add it to the water and mix it first. We're going to get a much more consistent mix that way. Once you got a good mix, add the flow control for more flowability. When I know I got a good consistent mix, pour and go. Mix and pour. Now I know what you're asking yourself right now. Why did my last mix not match my previous mixes? Because that third bag I had was a completely different lot number. And that's how big of a difference that can make. So make sure that your lot numbers match. I've got a awful feeling that that's actually going to screw us up in our final product, but it is what it is. Remember what Bob Ross says. Now we're gonna put the rebar in. 4-foot piece, 4-foot piece, 2-foot piece, 2-foot piece. Don't jostle it down too far. You don't want it to go too deep. Otherwise it'll come out on the finished side. Little polyurethane type rubber mold. Future video? Could be, I don't know. Now we're just gonna wait for this to start to set up, and we'll know because it's gonna get light spots. Then we're gonna take some water. Once it starts to set up and we can feel the heat, then we wanna saturate it for 1 hour to water cure it. Then we can take it out of the mold. Not bad. That actually did not turn out as bad as I thought. So here's that nasty spot that I knew was gonna come up. There's about a spot here and a spot here, but still not too bad. But it shows you the importance of making sure that your lot numbers match on all of your bags. So I'm kind of glad this happened. I meant to do that. Bob Ross. That's what I'm talking about. Come on over here. Now, if we did this right, we should be able to just pull this out, no problem. It's perfect. Now we're just gonna mix up some 2-part epoxy, add some color to it, and we're really gonna make this sucker pop. But before we mix up any epoxy, we wanna seal the top with Sealer's Choice Gold by Custom. There will be a link in the description down below. Then let it cure. All right, let's mix up some 2-part epoxy. Using the Glaze coat by Famowood. Part A and Part B are mixed up 50-50. Unicorn spit, Blue Thunder. 1, 2, 3, 4. I love that color. This is the one I want. Ooh, and I got 2 of them. Oak! So, I'm gonna show you how I attack these pallets sometimes. Most of the time, you can get away with grabbing a crowbar and just get in there and pry the boards apart, but sometimes that could lead to cracking, or it can just all out be a pain in the butt. But a lot of times I'm going for that rustic look, and I want to keep these nail heads to preserve the character of these boards. So I'll just take a Sawzall and cut right in between, and I'll cut the shaft off of each nail in between the boards. Easy as that. And I get to keep those rusty nail heads. Look at all this great material we got from only 2 pallets. We got legs, a frame, plenty of side sash. Let's make it something cool. All right, so for the base, I have ripped a couple of the 2x4s in half for the stringers and the cross braces. I've cut the stringers at 40 inches long, the cross braces at 20 inches long. Then I cut 4 legs at 20 inches long. We're gonna take the stringers and the cross braces and join them together to make the top and the bottom frame. We're gonna join the frames to the legs at the very top and the very bottom. Then we'll line the bottom with 1x or whatever you want, really. Then we're gonna dress the outside with the 1x4s and the 1x6s. And then we're gonna stagger them to kind of give them a random look. We're gonna use every bit of these 2 pallets. We are going to keep it very simple with the access door. I laid my boards up here, and then I scribed a couple of lines exactly where my opening laid out, and that's where I'm going to lay the braces. Alright, before we get into the really fun stuff, I want to talk to you about the fella that sent us the really cool fun stuff. A gentleman named Rick Noll, fan of the channel, reached out to me and asked if he'd send me some free hardware that I'd go ahead and do a little video on it. Since I was already planning on doing a video like this, I said, yes please. So Rick owns a company called EasyFirePits.com. And I learned that the material that they use is a 316 stainless steel marine grade, which is way more durable than the typical 304 stainless steel that's just tool grade. And you know what happens to your tools if you leave it outside overnight. It's gonna rust and corrode. I learned that this is apparently the same kind of steel that they use on like cruise ship railings. It's some serious stuff. And I believe it's also a lifetime warranty on the burners and the mounting kits. But I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. Before all this, I knew nothing about gas burners and how to put one together. But this seriously could not be easier. And you definitely don't need to be a professional to know that when you handle these materials, you know they're really good quality. So let's talk about what comes with the kit. The kit I chose was for propane gas. It came with 2 gas lines, the regulator to hook up to the tank, on-off valve, which you could choose from several different finishes, some mounting fittings and rings. Then aside from the kit, you would choose what kind of burner you wanted and what kind of tray goes with the burner that you've chosen. And that's it. And guys, this was seriously one of the more complicated kits they had. Oh, and thank you so much, Rick, for sending us all this stuff. Check him out. It's easyfirepits.com. I believe they can even send you a catalog. All right, so very simple. We're gonna go from the gas tank to the regulator, gas hose, on-off valve, another gas hose that's gonna go straight to a mount that's gonna go right to the burner. Easy as that. All right, we're about to mount the hoses onto the on-off valve, but something very important that I learned about gas fittings is this kind of fitting right here with this taper on it is called a flare fitting or a compression fitting. With flat ends like this, you use thread tape, but on flare or compression fittings, you absolutely do not use thread tape. Flat bottoms, thread tape. Compression fittings, no thread tape. Regulator that goes to the gas tank. Compression fitting, no tape. Now we're gonna work on the burner assembly. We're gonna take this threaded mount, since it's got a flat bottom to it, we're gonna wrap this with thread tape in a clockwise manner, very important. And take the burner, we're gonna screw it on. Take some channel locks and tighten it. Then we're gonna take one of these decorative nuts, thread that on. Insert it in the burner tray. Flip it over. Thread the second decorative nut on. Tighten that with some channel locks. Then we're gonna wrap the bottom threads with some thread tape, clockwise. Then we're just gonna simply thread on our right angled brass fitting. And that's it. Now we're just gonna put this aside until we get our concrete top on. Then we'll hook this up to the second gas hose. Then we're ready to burn. You didn't think I forgot, did you? Simply glue the top down with a construction adhesive. Now we're just going to take the burner assembly and hook it up to the other end of the hose. that's it. It really is a fun and simple project, and you can get a lot out of a piece like this. And how hard would it be to just raise this up to bar height and make a really cool bar out of this? Also, follow me on Instagram, and please don't forget to post your Michael Builds inspired projects. I love seeing those pictures because you guys are killing it. While we're talking about Instagram, please do me a favor and follow RapidSet at cts.rapidset. They would love to hear from you guys. Also, please don't forget to see Rick at easyfirepits.com. Tell him Michael Builds sent you. There's gonna be a link down below for everything that I used in this project. And speaking of links, there's also a link for cool Michael Builds merch. So, if you want to support the channel, picking up some Michael Builds merch is a fantastic way to do so. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know, this is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee.
Thank you so much for watching my video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing so. I promise you won't regret it. While you're at it, hammer on that like button if you like this video, and hit the bell to be notified of the latest Michael Builds video. See you in the next one.